A mushroom or toadstool is the fleshy, spore-bearing fruiting body of a fungus, typically produced above ground on soil or on its food source. Mushrooms are fungi, which are so distinct in nature that they are classified as their own kingdom, separate from plants or animals, though they have some attributes from both groups. While commonly placed in the vegetable category for dietary recommendations, mushrooms are, however, not vegetables based on their cellular organization and composition, such as chitin and ergosterol. In fact, as authors of a recent Nutrition Today article noted, mushrooms' nutrient and culinary characteristics suggest it may be time to re-evaluate food groupings and health benefits in the context of three separate food kingdoms, namely plants botany, animals zoology, and fungi mycology. There are many different varieties of mushrooms, including those that can be picked in the wild, as well as cultivated mushrooms that are generally sold as buttons, cups, or flats, according to age. Indeed, there are over 14,000 species of mushroom. About 7,000 are regarded as edible. Over 1,800 are considered as medicinal. "1,000 species are known to be poisonous. And 2,200 known as other mushrooms or miscellaneous mushrooms. Mushrooms grow everywhere, on every natural material imaginable. Some grow only in association with certain trees, while others grow with insects. Mushrooms are also found in soil, on decomposing leaves, and on several agricultural wastes such as plantain leaves, husks, corn cobs, and many others. Though mushroom is not an entirely new food item on the table of Ghanaians, it was at a point relegated to the background as food for rural folks. Until recently, it was not a cultivated crop, as it grew on its own in mostly forest areas and was harvested through hand-picking by farmers on their way to their farms. As interest in the consumption of mushrooms started picking up, there was the need for intervention programs and strategies to ensure that growing and eating of mushrooms become part of the Ghanaian. This huge task fell on the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Food Research Institute, CSIR-FRI.
The Food Research Institute, as an institute, has a mandate for promoting the nutritional benefits of crops that are not being cultivated. So looking at the potential of mushrooms, and also looking at the fact that Ghanaians demonstrate a love for mushroom consumption, and the fact that there is dependence on only the naturally grown mushrooms, which are not available throughout the year, and to satisfy the need of consumers and to introduce good nutrition, as well as promote the medicinal properties of these of mushrooms, the Food Research Institute researched into the cultivation of oyster mushrooms and promoted this to various entrepreneurs. We have a number of individuals who are involved in mushroom cultivation, and the demand for mushroom spawns is an indication of the level of mushroom production. And the level of production is also an indication of the level or the extent to which individuals embrace consumption.
According to the CSIR food scientists, mushrooms are an excellent addition to any salad and go great with all kinds of meat and fish. Let food be thy medicine is good advice indeed. And with mushrooms, that is especially true. The scientists revealed that mushrooms contain some of the most potent natural medicines on the planet. According to them, some species of mushrooms have been used as medicine for thousands of years, particularly in China and Japan.
There are various medicinal properties that various mushrooms have, and depending on the type of mushroom, you would know what treatment or what medicinal properties it has. We have the Ganoderma, which is the monkey seed mushroom, and that is used against various cancers for hypertension and diabetes. It's not a one-time thing, you must eat it quite often to get the full effect. We also have the oysters, which are good for hypertension, but you must eat them often, regularly. And generally, mushrooms have the ability to improve the immune system of the person who eats it.
Some of the immune-enhancing and anti-cancer effects of traditional species, such as monkey seed, Ganoderma lucidum, turkey tail mushroom, Trametes versicolor, and shiitake, Lentinula edodes, have been demonstrated scientifically. For thousands of years, Eastern cultures have revered mushrooms' health benefits. From the research files, mushrooms are a good source of B vitamins, including riboflavin, niacin, and pantothenic acid, which helps to provide energy by breaking down proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. The scientists advise that when building your plate to maximize vitamin D, consider mushrooms. They are the only source of vitamin D in the produce aisle and one of the few non-fortified food sources.
Mushrooms are known to be rich in proteins, low in fats, sugars, and is rich also in fiber, and it contains some amounts of folic acid. They're also rich in vitamins and minerals, and what they do is that they take up nutrients from the substrate that they are grown on. So that's why we increase the components of rice bran and lime to take up calcium, to take up some nitrogen, to the benefit of the consumer.
If mushrooms are so important, then the CSIR-FRI has the onerous duty to transfer this important technology to Ghanaians who have over the years acquired the taste for mushrooms. The training of mushroom farmers has a multiplying effect, as these farmers tend to impart the technology to their colleagues. Many farmers who have acquired the technology are of late going into commercial cultivation of mushroom, a neglected and forgotten gold mine, which is not only improving the financial status of the producers, but also the health of consumers as well. One such farmer who is taking full advantage of her training
I entered the mushroom business 3 years ago after a training course with CSIR-Food Research Institute. As I gained experience, I started making my own composting and bagging. Initially, the business was not very good, but when PMS, a marketing company, came to my assistance, marketing improved. Currently, I produce between 5,000 and 6,000 bags to the cropping house. The business aspect I learned from Food Research Institute has also helped me. I can now plan and expand the business. I am grateful to CSIR Food Research Institute.
According to the CSIR-FRI researchers, 3 out of the 6 industrially produced mushrooms in the world can be grown in Ghana. Currently, 2 of these varieties are being cultivated in Ghana. These are the oyster and oil palm domo mushrooms. DJ Farms now demonstrates the 6 steps of mushroom cultivation as taught by the Food Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research for oyster mushroom production using the plastic bag. Mushroom composting, which is the first step, usually occurs outdoors, although an enclosed building or a structure with a roof over it may be used. The purpose of this is to convert the raw materials of the substrate into a highly selective and nutritious medium for the growth of mushrooms. Composting is initiated by mixing and wetting the ingredients, mainly sawdust. Other important materials such as rice bran and lime are appropriately measured and added. A concrete slab, referred to as a wharf, is required for composting. Once the pile is wetted and formed, the next stage is to pack the composted sawdust into heat-resistant polypropylene bags. Aerobic fermentation composting commences as a result of the growth and reproduction of microorganisms, which occur naturally in the bulk ingredients. The next stage is sterilization. According to the research scientists, sterilization is done to kill any microorganisms that may be found within the compost bag. This is done using an oil drum with the source of heat being gas or firewood. Pasteurization is necessary to kill any insects, nematodes, pest fungi, or other pests that may be present in the compost. It is also necessary to remove the ammonia which formed during the bagging or composting. The scientists reveal that mushrooms grow from seeds known as spawns. The 4th step is therefore to introduce the mushroom spawn. Mushroom compost must be inoculated with mushroom spawn if one expects mushrooms to grow. The scientists explain that the mushroom itself is the fruit of a plant, as tomatoes are of tomato plants. Microscopic spores form within a mushroom cup, but their small size precludes handling them like seeds. The scientists advise that specialized facilities and technical know-how are required to propagate mycelium. This is to avoid contamination with the mycelium of other fungi. It is interesting to note that Ghana is blessed to have such facilities and expertise, and the public is assured that no matter how large one's investment in mushroom farming, the CSIR is capable of assisting in the supply of your seed needs. According to the experts from CSIR-FRI, the 5th step of growing mushroom is incubation. This is the time to allow the spawn to grow through the sawdust compost under optimum conditions. It is generally held that the time needed for spawn to colonize the compost depends on the spawning rate and its distribution, the compost moisture and temperature, and the nature or quality of the compost. A complete spawn run usually requires 14 to 21 days. Once the compost is fully grown with spawn, the next step in production is at hand. The final step, according to the CSIR-FRI researchers, is cropping. This is the time to create the right environmental conditions, that is high relative humidity, 80 to 95%, good aeration, and light for the mushroom to flourish. Like other vegetables, mushrooms need water. It is therefore important to irrigate the mushrooms if one expects a good yield. Harvestable mushrooms appear 18 to 21 days after casing. According to the researchers, mushroom farming comes with a lot of advantages. These include the following. Mushrooms grow well on cheap agricultural byproducts such as rice straw, maize cobs, sawdust, and banana leaves. They are nutritious and medicinal. They can be produced all year round as compared to seasonal varieties.
In Ghana, the hotels are importing mushroom. The restaurants are importing mushroom. And we feel that our own people can grow the mushroom to replace these imports. And the money, foreign exchange being used to import it, can be reduced. And all these will go on to help the country save money that is being used to import the mushroom, which are being used by the hotels and the restaurants.
The populace has recognized the nutritional value of mushrooms and have embraced it on a scale that is increasing. And it will be beneficial, or business-wise, it will be profitable for anyone who wants to go into mushroom production to consider the right way to go in and learn the practice very well, get proper training, and look for spawns from the accredited source. In that way, I believe that the sky will be the limit for the mushroom industry in Ghana.
The CSIR-FRI is ready to open the gate of this untapped gold mine to people of all walks of life, pensioners, the unemployed, those who would like to have pastime ventures for increased earning, etc., to make a living by going into mushroom farming. It is very profitable and has a short turnaround investment period. You can also be a part of this viable technology to be self-employed or be a key employer. Just visit the CSIR-FRI located behind the Ghana Standards Authority head office or the CSIR head office close to the Gold House near the 37 Military Hospital, all in Accra, to discuss your interest and start a fruitful business.